Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Smell My Finger Guns, and welcome to the appallingly awkward adventures of Captain Skipper Bob. Captain Skipper is our proud protagonist of this perilous journey through a dangerous land. Last time we met our intrepid hero, Captain Bob and Hadvar had just escaped from the great outdoors, where there were lions and tigers and dragons. Oh my. Hadvar recommended that he let loose the skipper's hands, thus unlocking Bob's latent ability to wield any weapon he touched. Hadvar, being dropped on his head more than once as a young child, and several times more as a mostly grown adult, insisted that the hero had a whole arsenal of gear to choose from to prepare for the journey ahead. A whole arsenal, which boiled down to an iron straight sword or a slightly less dull iron straight sword. Captain Bob, naturally, took both. The next few minutes would be the first time Captain Skipper Bob had ever had to engage in hand-to-hand combat. He had never learned how to wield a sword before, much less a stick or a rowing oar, so to say he was out of his element was both true and unsurprising. He drew his blade and flailed his arms like a child blowing limply down the Oregon Trail after his whole family had died of dysentery. Hadvar, the sidekick, did most of the heavy lifting while Bob did most of the looting. There were a few less Stormcloaks to worry about. Killing humans was easy for Bob. After all, he had no grasp on the concept of life and death. He believed the world was just a computer-generated simulation and nothing mattered. I gotta say, for a video game protagonist, that's pretty meta. After the two men wiped out a whole platoon of trained Stormcloak soldiers, mostly by accident, Captain Bob tried his hand with the bow as he became the resident pest exterminator. But like we all know, playing the role of the stealth archer in Skyrim is the objectively worst way to play the game. The numbers prove it. It's basic math. So Captain Skipper gave up on that just as quickly as he gave up on becoming the world's greatest beatboxer. "It could never happen," said Hadvar. And so it was written. The final challenge Bob faced head-on. Hadvar didn't think fighting a bear head-on was a good idea. "Sneak around it," he said. "Kill it from a distance with your arrows," he said. Hadvar, we just went over this. Bob put the sharp end of the sword into the bear over and over again, until he was prompted to loot the body. Leaving the cave, there was a great deal of anxieties in Bob's lungs as he breathed in the fresh air around him. Thanks to Hadvar, Captain Bob realized that they had just unescaped from Skyrim and were once again in the great outdoors. Hadvar suggested that they met with his uncle in Riverwood, so he could watch him work the forge, and maybe spend a little time with that cousin he had funny feelings for. Captain Bob sarcastically thought that was a great idea, but they would have to make their own ways there. Captain Bob heard whispers on the wind that there were map nodes he could discover not too far from their location, and by the grace of the gods and the sword at his side, he would discover every last damn nook and cranny the map had to offer. His plan was taking shape. He would break free from mediocrity by becoming the best Captain Skipper this side of the Colorado River. Hey guys, what is up? My name is Smell My Finger Guns, and thank you for checking out this part 2 of Captain Bob. My focus is going to be shifting a little to like these shorter episodic pieces of content, just because of concerns with my internet not being able to upload the longer videos. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on for the near future. I don't know when I'll be able to put out more of The Witcher. I guess it'll happen when it happens, because I kind of have to just fire it at YouTube and wait for it to upload, which in recent history has been literally like several days worth of just sitting there letting it upload. And I don't really need to explain why that's a major inconvenience for me. So expect more stylized, shorter content like this, because it's easier to make, easier to upload, and a lot more fun to produce, if I'm being totally honest with you. If you haven't done so already, hit that bell and press subscribe to stay notified on the new content, and check out the social media links below. You won't be disappointed, I promise. Have a wonderful night.